Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. This first 10-minute moan of today, unfortunately, is going to discuss yet another murder and multiple stabbing on the streets of the United Kingdom. The latest murder at the hands of a knifeman has happened in Manchester, and it's covered in a lot of mainstream media, but I'm going to reference the BBC coverage just because it was the most updated when I was looking for a resource. And their headline, "Woman Killed and 2 Hurt in Stabbing." Ewan Gone, their correspondent, updated this just within the last 20 minutes. A man has been arrested on suspicion of murder of a 43-year-old woman who was stabbed to death and 2 other people left with life-threatening injuries. Police were called to Barnard Road in Gorton about 11:20 last night after reports 3 people had been stabbed. The woman died at the scene. A 17-year-old girl and a 64-year-old man were taken to hospital for treatment. Initial inquiries suggest the suspect, aged 22, was known to the victims, Greater Manchester Police had said. The arrested man has been held in custody where he's set to be interviewed by detectives. The injured girl and man suffered serious stab wounds in the attack, and their condition is believed to be life-threatening at this time. Barnard Road has been closed off while officers investigate behind the police cordon. 3 forensic tents have been put up, one in a garden, one in the road, and one at a property in the street. Plainclothed officers have been knocking on doors while others in white overalls and protective clothing have been seen in the road. One person who lives within the cordon told BBC Radio Manchester he woke up to hear a lot of screaming and noises. Another person said you don't expect to see such a large police scene in the area, while others said it was unexpected for a nice, quiet place. The stabbing has been treated as an isolated incident by the police, but Detective Superintendent Toby Facey said officers had arrived in the scene within minutes of reports being made to police and arrested the man. He said the investigation is in its very early stages and appealed for anyone with any information about the attack to come forward. This included anyone in the surrounding area near Barnard Road about 2300 hours. He added, "We understand that the local community and further afield across Greater Manchester will be rightly shocked and concerned after waking up and hearing this tragic news this morning. Our thoughts remain with those affected and their loved ones at this difficult time. We are doing all we can to support them," he said. Now this is just getting out of control. The amount of these attacks seems to be rising month on month. Now, I don't have the figures. I don't have the data. I don't need it because I have eyes and I have ears. And what really, really upsets me is there was violence in the streets of the United Kingdom after the horrific murder of 3 young girls in Southport, where protests led to violence. And violence can't be condoned. It's as simple as that. But I totally understand the reasons for protest because people are worried. They're worried about several things. One of them being knife crime and the amount of it, and these machete running battles that we see, and these large knives that are open, with people walking down the street going to protest and stuff. It's just absolutely chaos. And what really worried me was 24 hours after the murder of the 3 young girls in Southport, our Prime Minister took to the TV screens and quite rightly passed on his condolences about the knife crime, but that was about the last he spoke in about 20 minutes about knife crime. He then went on to talk about far right protesters, etc., and made them the villains. And the narrative went on to how we can control the riots, how we can control social media, how we can control people even being bystanders and being arrested, charged successfully with crimes of witnessing a riot. Nothing, absolutely zero radio silence about any of the concerns which include knife crime. This government has done nothing, absolutely zero, since those horrific murders of those 3 young kids about the knife crime and the level of it. And people have those concerns. They are concerned not about immigrants, but about the level of immigration. They are concerned about asylum seekers, the amount of it, but not the fact that people seek asylum. They are worried about the amount and the rising issues with knife crime. And I'm going to do another video about a case that's almost on my doorstep, which is as if it didn't happen. It happened a week ago in the streets of Scotland, and nobody's talking about it. I'm going to just do a video on its own about that. But it absolutely terrifies me that our government seem totally uninterested in actually looking at the concerns of the British people right now. And how many murders? That's another one. And women, for God's sake. Any murder's bad. But women and children always give it an extra added level of horror. This is becoming almost daily. It might be worse than we even know, because, as I'll identify in a later video today, they don't always get the coverage that these things are due. For what reason, I don't know. But there genuinely seems to be a quelling of incidents of knife crime, even on my own doorstep. And the people in the United Kingdom, I don't know how they make their fears and concerns known, because anybody that does is criminalised. And this government, this judiciary, even our own Home Office, our media, all seem more intent in making those who have concerns to be bad people, brandishing them far right, brandishing them thugs, and we don't consider the actual fears of the British people and the concerns, and the very valid concerns of the British people. And we expect better from our governments. Let me remind those in power, you are our servants. That's the way it works. It's not the other way about. Your job is to serve the people of the United Kingdom. And when an ever-rising number of the civilians and citizens of the United Kingdom have concerns, very valid concerns, it is your job to make them feel safe and act upon those concerns. And you have done nothing about the concerns of knife crime, gang violence, immigration or asylum. These are valid concerns of the British people. There's another police car going by my own window. How many of you that are avid listeners, viewers of my channel, come across that? The amount of times I'm videoing and recording a video and the siren goes off behind me is frightening. Now, I don't know what that instant is, but it's noticeable the amount of times I'm recording a video and the sirens go by my own window. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the government need to act, and they need to act quickly, because we have seen a significant decrease in protests by concerned citizens over the last fortnight. So, you have been successful with that. But that does not take away the concerns. People still have their concerns. And if the concerns raise again and lift again, the number of concerns people have and the feelings of the concerns, then protests will not be far away. And protest is your God-given right as a citizen of the United Kingdom. To have peaceful protest is valid. Yet, because some of those did turn to violence, let's not ignore that fact, then anybody, though, that wants to protest has been victimised. We've even seen people in opposition. We've seen Nigel Farage, who is the leader of one of the larger parties one of the parties there in opposition, tell us we should not protest. If Nigel Farage wanted to get up and tell people that we shouldn't riot, I'd agree with that. But he didn't. So we've now got leaders of opposition parties telling us to toe the line with the government and not protest. I'm not telling anybody to protest. I'm just talking about what will happen. People do get angry. People do feel frustration. And if they actually genuinely believe that at least their government and the media and the judiciary are trying to help the situation, then they might have no reason to protest. But when they see absolute zero being done to quell their fears and concerns, that's not a good place. It's genuinely not a good place. And I just hope, probably wishful thinking more than anything else, that one day the government and the media and the judiciary wake up and say, do you know what? Kind of got this wrong a wee bit. There's another one. There's two. Maybe the same instant. I don't know. I hope it's not the same instant, because I would suggest it's serious. But in the short 10 minutes I've been recording this video, that's 2 police cars flew past my door. I live in Glasgow. I don't live in a ghetto, but maybe that's what we're becoming. If you enjoyed this video, strange choice of words, give it a thumbs up. Please, if you've not already done so, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Please get involved in the comments below. Most importantly of all, if you're just a normal good citizen of the United Kingdom with concerns, valid concerns, please have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.